Now, World War II years. My father was in New York City preparing to go overseas, we thought, during the war, and my mother was there. So I was staying with my grandparents, living with them, going to school as a little, let's see, how old would I have been? 9 years old. So I was in the third grade, third or fourth. That year, during the Easter season, we were studying in Sunday school about Jesus' death and burial and resurrection and what he did for us. Of course, I'd never heard it before, or at least not the way my Sunday school teacher presented it. So it was astounding to me and touched me deeply. And one night, after we'd had 2 or 3 lessons on the time when Jesus gave his life for us, I went to sleep and I had the most amazing dream. I mean, it was so real. And I'm not one who dreams, has unusual dreams or spiritual dreams or anything. I never have. But that particular night, I dreamed that Jesus was in his royal purple robe and his crown of thorns. It wasn't a regal crown at all. He was seated on a wooden throne on top of a mountain. And it wasn't a high mountain. It was just sort of a hilly area, similar to what you might find in Israel, I guess, today. So he was seated on this throne, and there was a little winding path all the way up to his throne from the bottom of the hill, and people were on the path, adults and children, and I was one of them. So it started off, and I was making my way behind these other people. And as soon as I came within, within visual distance of him, John, I thought it was the disciple John, was standing beside him, and he was leaning over to introduce the people as if Jesus didn't know our names already. But he was leaning over to introduce us to Jesus, and he was saying, "Here's Anne." Well, I looked at him, and his eyes and his demeanor was that I should come, I should run to him. So that was it. I mean, I knew in my heart I wanted to belong to him. And so somehow or other, I woke up, I guess, instantly. And I had to tell my grandmother, this is when I need to. And in those days, we just said, join the church. Yeah. We didn't say give our hearts to Jesus necessarily. But she said, "Oh, well, I'll arrange for that," because she was the church secretary. So she's all over that. She was all over that, and she had made the appointment right away for me to meet with the pastor. And I explained to him. I didn't tell him my dream because that would have been a little scary in those days. But now I understand what that meant and how prophetic it was, and how the Lord did receive me. And just even this week, it's like God has intersected my life with another person, a doctor, who I would never have believed in a million years that a doctor would take the time to look past the initial symptomology and see into the heart. He x-rayed my soul. Wow. And it was like he understood. He wanted in 5 minutes. That had to be the Lord. Oh, yeah. It wasn't anything. He didn't even ask me too much about why I was there. Just divine discernment. It was a divine discernment and a divine appointment. And I told him, I said, I just can't believe you're taking this time with me. He said, well, let me tell you about me. He said, I knew it up here, but I didn't have it here. He was a member of the Church of Christ. And I said, well, I know a little bit about legalism myself. So anyway, it was amazing this week. I mean, I couldn't believe that he was taking that time, and he knew me. He knew me. It's like the Lord had sent my resume, my physical symptoms and everything else to him. And he just discerned that a lot of it had to do with internalizing and dealing just taking on too much. He said, do you take care of everybody but yourself? I said, well, not really. I think it's really selfish. It probably is more people-pleasing or something, but he was so helpful, and it was such a God thing. Wow. So the testimony continues that, that he he's not through with me yet. That's what's so exciting. I thought when I was, I might have a good 70 years, but, or good 2 years or 2 months. But,
wow.
But now it's almost like he's extended my life cycle to, I don't know what the length of days will be, but I know I have more time. And I don't know what else he has for me, but I really want to be found doing that and be obedient to his call. So it's exciting because I do believe there is more.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think he's quite through with me yet, and I'm happy about that. So, and I love the Jewish people. That's a connection that Lucy and I have had that's unexpected. I mean, this book was powerful in its own right due to the end of life issues, but even more importantly, to me, was the fact that there was a Jewish man who became a believer in Yeshua.
Yeah.
That was at the heart of it. And so I thought, Lord, there's no doubt in my mind that you intended for me to do this, even though it was pushing it a little bit with my schedule.
Right.
But it's been powerful, and I've learned a lot through Lucy and through that relationship and what God did for them and what he's still doing.
Yes. He does. He does work through Lucy.
He does. There's no doubt about it.
Well, this is just the beginning, Anne. We sure do love
Just
you.
the beginning.
And happy Mother's Day.
Thank
You've
you
been
so
a mother
much
to thousands and thousands.
No, not thousands.
And we love
Only
you.
through the books
And-
about wonderful authors.
And you are royalty. And we love you.
Thank you, Lucy.